So in today's Tableau tutorial, we're going to learn the P in the pod graph. And in this graph, what we have done is that we have created a subcategory level view. We have calculated cost as well as sales, and then shown that, see, hey, this is the cost, this is the sales, and therefore the width is the profit, and all the categories have been sorted basis profit. To create a similar view, what we have to do is that we have to just create cost, because if you know from the sample superstore data set, we just have sales and profit, and thus it's very easier to create a calculated field. So I'll just take sales minus profit, and I'll just put it as cost one, because I already have a cost field created on this. So I've put the name as cost one, and that's there. Then I'm going to do is that I'm going to take the measure values up, because it has multiple measure values, right? It's the cost and the sales. I'm going to put the measure names in filter, and we're going to edit the filter, wherein we're going to just select cost one, the one calculated field that we created, and we're going to take sales, and we're going to say okay. Then what we're going to do is that we're going to take the subcategory and put it in the row. And as you would know, we need two quantitative fields over here, and that is why we'll pull measure values for this. To do this, all you have to do is click on this pill, press Control on your keyboard, and just drag it over here. Yeah, so that's how you'll be able to duplicate the exact pill. Now we have got this. We've got two marks, so we have different marks for different graphs, and there are two graphs effectively. So what we're going to do is that we are going to create the first one. We'll convert it into a line chart, and the second, and as you can see that in this, since it's a line chart created, we need to now specify a path so that it's not this kind of a chart. It looks like a vertical chart or a snake chart. So I'll just take the measure names and I'll put it on the path. What it does is that it's going to trace the path from, say, cost, which is one of the measure value that we have selected, to the sales, which is the another measure value that we have selected, right? So this graph is effectively for this measure value and subcategory, and it is just tracing the distance or the path from one point to the other, and this is what we have achieved here. In the next graph, which is this graph, which is being created from this measure value and subcategory, we'll convert it into shapes, and we'll create this kind of shape here. So for every category, you'll find that there are two shapes which is getting created. One is for cost and the other one is for sales. Now, the color coding has to be done on the basis of profitability, right? So we will just create one calculated field which helps us identify whether it is profitable or not. So I've already done, because I created this chart, I've already created a calculated field. Let's do it from scratch. So I'll just create a calculated field and I'll name it as profitability or profitable, and this, and I'll just mark this as 0. So just take this as sum. So if the sum of profit is greater than 0, then it's going to be profitable, yes. And if it is not, then obviously if there's a negative profit, then it is not profitable. So I've just taken this as okay, and I'm just going to pull this on this. So we come to know that for the categories which are profitable, and we come to know those categories which aren't profitable. For example, binders is not profitable, our supplies aren't profitable, and our tables aren't profitable. Now, but what I want is that I want to have a different color for sales as well as cost. So even if it isn't profitable, like even if binders isn't profitable, I would want the cost to be color coded in a different way and the sales to be color coded in a different way. Okay, to do this, what you're going to do is that you're going to just take the measure names and you're going to put them on detail. Okay, so we have added a detailing on this, and then you'll go and click color on this. And so you will find that this color is further being broken down into another level of detail, which is this. That all the cost should be shown as white color. So what I'll do is that I'll just take, okay. So since I have not got white over here, what I'll do is that I'll just put this as gray and more lighter shade of gray. We can also do that. We can create okay, so we can take this, and wherever it is false, which means that it is not the best outcome, so we can take this as red, and whenever it's true, it's a green color, so we can take this as green, and this is there. And for you to make it like more visible, we can just go to shape and size, sorry, and increase the size so that you can see this. Now, if you still feel that this is not very visible, then you can go to format, go to shading, you can go to sheet shading and pick any color from here. This looks okay. Or you can do a little tinge of pink. Okay. I can also do none. So like your wish. I'll go for none for now. And if it still seems that the colors are not coming up brightly, I'll change the worksheet shading. So I just wanted to show it to you because I had done this worksheet shading in this, and this was this color, but I did not want to do it in this one. So just for the purpose of matching, we can also do it. Yep, this is it. Now, the next thing that we have to do, so now we've formatted this graph and this graph is done. Now we need to come back and format this graph. And what we have to do is that we have to just increase the size. Sorry, we've increased the size in all. So if you're going to increase the size in the all marks card, it's going to, that changes will apply to both the charts. But we just want to increase the size of this line chart. So we will just make it more fatter. Yeah. Okay. And I also want this to be color coded, right? So I'll just take is profitable here, or profitable, that was the one that we created, and I'm going to drag it here. Now I do not want another level of detail on this color coding, so I'm happy with this, and I'm just going to click on the color pill and I'm going to change it. So if it is true, then if it is profitable, then it is a green zone, so I want light green, and if it is not, then it's a red zone. If it's profitable, we will choose light green, and if it is not, then we'll choose pink. Yeah. And now, because we have all of this, we'll just convert this into a dual axis chart, and we'll synchronize the axes so that both of them are in line. Again, I see that the line chart can be made a little more pretty, so I can increase the size a little bit more. Instead of standard, I'll just go to fit height so that I get a good spacing here, and that's it. I mean, like if we change the color a little bit more by going like tableau 20 and taking color and apply and see how it happens. Yeah, that's there. Okay. Okay, so I could not get the exact colors here because that was from one of the custom templates that I had. Then what we can do is that I can actually, I'm not liking these colors, so we can make it a light brown just so that it comes more nicely, that there's a difference between the two. Anyhow, next what we can do is that we can sort the subcategory basis of field, which is our profitability. So I just say profit and I just want to sort it, and it should be on the base of descending. So if it is very profitable, then it's going to be up, and if it is less profitable, then it's going to be down. And all right, so that's done. Also, you can format these things. So you can go and format by subcategory. You can make the center alignment. You can make the font to be bold. And if you want, you can make it a more darker shade of black. Yes, that's how you can beautify it. And I'm not liking the shading, so I'll just go to shading and I'll make it none, because thing that we can do is that if you want to add one more line so that it's like easily telling you that this is the line of copiers only and this is the line of this, you can just take minimum 1 and put it. So basically anything added over here is just going to add one more header and one more reference line. You can reduce show header, we can say entire view, and this would add this small line which tells you that this graph belongs to copiers only. However, I think that it is too much lines, so I don't prefer them, but if you want, that is also one thing that can be done. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is that we want to have labeling for profits. And to do that, I'm going to just take profit and I'm going to drag it on labels. Okay, and when you see this, you'll see a lot of hodgepodge over here. So all you have to do is click on the label and line ends, and label 1 is being displayed for this, and then another label is being displayed for this. However, we want only one label for profit to be there, and what I want is that the profits, if it is a profitable thing, then it should be towards my right, and if it is a negative profit, it should be towards my left. To do this, what I'll do is that I will just place this as label end. And when I place this as label end, anything that is positive automatically gets aligned towards the right, and anything which is negative automatically gets aligned towards the left. The next thing that I want to do is that I just want to make it bold. So I'll just go and click bold. And the other thing that I want to do is that I want this to be formatted in the terms of a currency. So what I can do is that I can go and click format, and then on this default I can go and click custom. Okay, so what I can do is that I'll click dollar, and then I will click hash, then hash 0. So for all the negative numbers, this is what it should do. It should take negative, and it should take dollar, and it should put hash and hash and hash. And so for all positives, it will do this. For all the negatives, it will do this. And that's done. It's showing is that copiers has the highest profit, and this is the extent of profit. However, if we come to categories which has negative profit, then suppliers have less negative profit. Bookcases is another one, which is around 3473, and tables is this. So and it also tells me the extent of difference between the cost and sales. And this is a very interesting chart. You can also use it for benchmarking. Like you can put the individual players inside over here and have your KPIs listed here, and the line or the this one showing the ranges of the benchmarks. I'll also post a link to the Tableau public workbook for this if anybody wants to download and follow along.